Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the subscribe button so that we can be on the same page. Hit the subscribe button. Share before we start the show. Okay. Share so that we can start. And okay. Thank you for watching.
Freedom's call for hills and city. Ambazonia's cry for dignity. From news rise to Amanda's tale, echoes of strength shall prevail. From Kumbo's heart to Victoria.
Please, if you're just joining, if you're watching on Facebook, share. Make sure you hit the follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, you make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing.
Blood, the journey starts. In unity, we hold our hearts. October 61, our history's thread. Marginalized, but not misled. Dictators' reign shall pass away. For liberty, we forge the way. To those imprisoned, to those who strive, in every heart, freedom's alive. Leaders strong, fighters brave, together Ambazonia we shall save. Land of milk, land of honey, where heroes sacrifice sweet symphony. For every woman, child and sage, we stand united, turn the page. Ambazonia, land of dreams, united voices, radiant beams. From hills to shores, in unity, our one true call is to be free.
Freedom's call from hills and city, Ambazonia's cry for dignity. From Uya's rise to Bamenda's tale, echoes of strength shall prevail.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna be talking about Somaliland and Ambazonia. How both of them has the same story to tell. Okay, we have seen that both of them has the quest for independence. They had that same rich background of exploration due to their historical context, the cultural identities, the challenges that both countries face in the pursuit of their statehood. Okay, and so for the case of Somaliland, we see Somaliland is in the Horn of Africa. It has a very rich and complex history shaped by colonialism like Ambazonia and conflict in the quest for self-determination. Okay, so Somaliland in the late 19th century, the British established a protectorate over the northern part of Somalia, which included Somaliland, okay, just like Ambazonia. So during this period, the Somaliland people experienced resistance to colonial rule, notably in the early 90s. So when we see both of them, we see that both of them came from the British system of leadership, okay, where there was this issue of decolonization, okay, and when you look at Somaliland and Ambazonia, you see that both of them came out from the British colonial past, where some countries felt that they were not well decolonized. Okay, the incomplete decolonization process of both Ambazonia and Somaliland. We see the consequences of the British colonial past. Okay, where the British left most of these colonies without proper administration. Okay, Ambazonian part, southern Cameroon, we see the history of seeking independence since 1961. So the Ambazonian struggle started since 1961. Okay, and today we see that happen, that dissatisfaction with the exploitation, the marginalization, the mistreatment of Ambazonian community that had led to the growing call for autonomy and independence. So today, when the leaders declared independence in 2017, the Amazonian movement started the side of major challenge with the Cameroon government, where the crisis started. You saw the ensuing violence that has resulted in a devastating humanitarian crisis today, okay, with thousands of dead, widespread displacement, and the ongoing war that is going on in Ambazonia today. In Somaliland, it was the same thing, right? You had the same struggle. The same thing happened in Somaliland, where the Somaliland in 1991 had a brutal civil war, okay, and in the wake of the collapse of the people of northern Somalia, feeling marginalized and seeking to avoid the chaos of the people of the south, okay, they declared their independence in 1991, just like Ambazonia declared its independence in 2017, okay. And these two countries, so despite that, Somaliland also faced the same thing, the recognition issue. Many countries have not recognized Somaliland despite their declaration of independence. Just like Ambazonian have declared their independence in 2017. The leaders were arrested, arrested in Nigeria and taken to Cameroon. That is the situation of both countries today, and we see that happen today continuously. So today I'm going to be talking about the struggle for sovereignty between Somaliland and Ambazonia, how this taking a deep dive into the historical journey of these two countries seeking self-determination, try to explore their unique challenges and aspirations, how both countries face this issue of recognition. The history is just as similar as we can think of, okay, where there is a suppression of the voices of the voiceless, and how Somaliland and Ambazonia have rise against this central power, okay, the two roads to freedom, how Somaliland and Ambazonia are trying to fight for their own recognition of their country. Countries that were granted independence but could not have full-fledged independence because of the central governance or the occupation of another country. And the case of Somaliland, we see how the Somaliland people have fought so much. In 1991, they had their own civil war, and it was not an easy war for them too. Okay, they have a country just like Ambazonia. We have a full-fledged boundary recognized. So now the issue of Somaliland, okay, the major similarities is that both Somaliland and Ambazonia emerged from the colonial legacies of Britain, right? We all see both of them that were colonized by Britain, okay? And they had their independence, but they had their independence by joining Somalia. That is the same issue where Ambazonia had their independence by joining French Cameroon. The feelings of injustice and marginalization, the desire for self-determination built on the cultural identity of the people of both countries is the same. Both movement faced significant challenges of international recognition and legitimacy. Today we see that, right? Imagine since 1991 that Somaliland declared their independence. It is of now that we are seeing Donald Trump. How many years? From 1991 till 2014, 2024. This is the time that last 2-3 months that we heard Ethiopia was trying to recognize Somaliland. But this is a country, you see. So you see how the diplomatic pressure is. Okay, it's very difficult, but both countries have their own differences too. So we see that Somaliland has achieved relatively stable governance structure because they declared independence since 1991, and they have a kind of political institutions. Whereas Ambazonian struggle, we still see leaders who are still have their internal divisions, and the conflict is still ongoing. Okay, the war is still ongoing. We are still seeing some Ambazonians who don't understand that when you declare independence, you have to have a governance structure. You have to have a political institutions, okay, before countries can start recognizing you. If you are so myopic to think that having institutional structure is more better than you just having groups, it's very difficult for countries to recognize you. Okay, and we see that happen in so many countries today where they have all what it takes to be an independent country, but because of the pressure from external forces, external powers, external countries, it's very difficult for they to be recognized, right? You see that countries, even Taiwan, Macau, so many countries have difficulties today because of the pressure of the country that they don't want them to be recognized. Okay, that is what most countries are facing today, with similar stories like Ambazonia or similar stories like Somaliland, where they had their country long ago, but yet they still face challenges of recognition. Yes, they had they imagine no country is yet to recognize. Some countries, very few of them have recognized Somaliland today. Imagine since their independence in 1991. That is a lesson for the people of Ambazonia, right? To tell you that some people think that this war will end and countries will just start recognizing Ambazonia. That's not how it works. You have to know that there's a lot much to do than some of Ambazonians think that, it's so easy. It's not easy. Recognition is not easy. Not every country will recognize you. Okay, we were also the same lucky to have our independence too, like Somaliland. But what was the problem? Somaliland, like Ambazonia, had their independence by joining another country. You understand? So they did not have the privilege like us. We did not have the privilege like any other country to be independent by our own self. Our independence was tied to having independence with other countries. That is what the similarity of Ambazonia and Somaliland comes in, where both countries face all these challenges. Both countries had difficulty to self-determination because of the centralized nature of the country that they were made to join. Okay, the government is being too centralized, while the government of Somalia in Mogadishu is being too centralized, and they don't give the people of Somaliland or the people of Ambazonia the power to self-determine themselves. whereas these are independent countries. Okay, the even though there are some similarities, but there are some differences too, right? We all know the Somaliland historical context differ with that of Ambazonia. Okay, Somaliland having established its own form of self-governance since early 1990s, because they got their independence they declared their independence in 1991. Okay, Ambazonia on the other side, they are still struggling to understand the importance of a government. You know, where you have recent now we have the war going on. Instead of the Ambazonian leaders to understand that, hey, they need some form of governance, each leader want to be the government, want to build his own government. I don't understand how countries can recognize you. You see how difficult it is for countries to recognize Somaliland. Since 1991, we declared our independence in 2017. But think of it. Somaliland restored their own independence in 1991. But it's recent that we see that Trump administration say that they want to recognize them. How many years? So if Ambazonian think that it's so easy to be recognized, it's not easy. It's not easy. If you don't put your acts together, if you don't come together and start building Ambazonian nation as a powerful nation, countries will not come to recognize us. We can stay for the next 20 years still doing this nonsense of going left or right. This one power, this one is a head of government, this one is a president, this one is this. Nobody will come to our rescue. I'm saying this because we Ambazonian think that it's so easy. It's not easy. The way we are running this struggle, people think that it's just easy for countries to come and recognize you. It's not as easy as we think. Okay, countries want to see you show proof of democracy, show proof of good governance, show proof of good institutions, show proof of your constitution that you before you want me to come and recognize you. I want to see you show proof of good governance. It's just like IMF that want to give you money. They want to see that your human rights record. They want to check all those things before they can give you money. Okay, you can borrow money from them. That is just the basic. I'm just giving for the example, right? But if you don't do that, how do you want recognition? Recognition doesn't come by you just saying, okay, abuse human, all the abuses, all the different form of bad governance, all the negativities and on democracy, all the form that some we instead make someone to scare away from recognition of Ambazonia. That's what we are doing here. Many countries know that we are divided because of the behaviors of some of us who think that without us, Ambazonia should not exist. There will be no Ambazonia without them. So before Ambazonia exists, they should be the one to declare Ambazonia. Seseko Ayok declared independence, the restoration of our independence, but he is in jail today. Some of us think that we are gonna be the one to go to see Ambazonia tomorrow. Most of us will not see Ambazonia. So this fight is not to put ourselves front. We put about the future of Ambazonians. The future. We cannot think that because we are the one doing this war now, we are the one in the forefront, we are the one to go and be in Boya. It must not be like that. A true freedom fighter fight for the future. Nelson Mandela fought for South Africa, but he's not there today. He was fighting for the future generation. All the freedom fighters, Kwame Nkrumah fought for Ghana, but he's not there today. So the fight you are fighting today is not for you. So go be together, form a strong governance, form a strong institution for Ambazonians, because this is for the future generation. It's not for you. And if you think that fighting today, it means that you are be the one to go and be the president, you be the one to go and be the chairman or CIC, that is a mistake some of you are making. That is a mistake. We have to learn that this war can be done in very few time if we understand that our two piece of land, we have a good legacy to overcome. Each and everyone has their role. You have your role. When you have those, when you see Somaliland and you see Ambazonia, you can say, hey, these two countries have fought for their freedom, because it's the same story that they have to tell. The same story, the same similarities in their historical, their colonial past, similarities. Okay, they have distinct cultural, different type of, geopolitical Anglo-Saxon background. Okay, they face the same situation where they were asked to have independence by joining another country, and when they realize that both countries cannot survive, they say, hey, we join you guys, but we don't see this thing working, so we want to separate from you guys. They say no. Okay, that is a problem. Somaliland and Ambazonia have declared their independence unilaterally, right? Because they realize that if they don't declare independence, it will be difficult. Somaliland declared their independence in 1991. Then in 2017, Ambazonian declared their independent restoration too. Okay, so that is the problem. Okay, both regions or both countries have engaged in armed struggle and insurgencies to achieve their independence. Sometimes, if you want to have a kind of peaceful demonstration, the kind of rogue regime that you face, Biya regime is a dictator government. They don't tolerate protests, peaceful protests, no. But what did Biya did? Biya declared war on the people of Ambazonia, right? It's the same thing how the Somaliland, they fought against the Somali government during their civil war, and that is what you're saying. Okay, they had to fight for their independence, against the Somaliland government in Mogadishu. That is what happened. Ambazonians have the same story to tell. Okay, because both countries still does not enjoy international recognition as independent states. Okay, because of too much pressure, too much, that is a problem. They are facing a lot of backlash between both of them. They are still looking for international recognition despite their declaration of independence. But that is what we are looking at. If the people of Ambazonia see the history of Somaliland, how far they have gone, then if we can learn from them, we can have international support. Because Somaliland, despite all what they did, fought war, came out of that war, they had their country, but their issue, even till today, is still recognition, okay, and international support. So that is the problem, okay. They have built their country since 1990, 1991. That's a long time, okay, but yet countries don't want to recognize them. That is the problem. So we can still have that independence. We can still win this war against La Republic of Cameroon. But countries will not still recognize us because many countries will not want to anger France. Many countries will not want to anger La Republic of Cameroon. That is how it works. So, but we have to know the reality of international politics because it's not just easy for countries to recognize you like that. They have their economic, military, and different ties with other countries that they don't want to jeopardize, you know. So countries are very, skeptical to recognize any country, okay. So while both Somaliland and Ambazonia are fighting for independence based on historical, cultural, and political grievances, their situation differ in terms of governance, international recognition, and the level of conflict. Somaliland has been able to maintain a more stable and organized independent movement along the years, okay, gaining de facto recognition, while Ambazonia remains in a more volatile situation because the war is ongoing now. Okay, Ambazonia still have little support or control over its territory. That is why we are telling our people, if you know the history of Somaliland, you will start changing the way you behave in this war. The Somaliland has gained international support long ago for some countries, in terms of trade, in terms of diplomatic contact, but it remains largely isolated from global political institutions like the United Nations. So while Ambazonia has struggled to gain some international significant support with most of its international community, including the African Union members who are backing Cameroon's territorial integrity too. So that is where we are. We have a long way to go. If we think that we are winning, you cannot be winning a war that countries don't recognize you. That is why some people ask that, but why is no country recognizing Ambazonia? It's because of what Ambazonians are doing. It's because of what Ambazonian leaders are doing. They don't want to come together. They think that being in those their groups can give them recognition. There is one thing to have independence. There's another thing to have recognition. This is Somaliland, 1991 till today. It's today that we are hearing that Trump wants to recognize. Trump plans to recognize, and they will still face pressure. It's last year that President Biden went and opened an American embassy in Somaliland. You see how many years they have gone. So when some of us think that this thing is easy, it's a long way to go. Okay, long way to go. Okay, we don't have economic and military strength. We don't have that. We need to start thinking about that. We have a seaport, we have all those, but it's not controlled by us. So we need to start thinking about that, because anything you do, if you don't have a pathway, if you don't have an objective, you will fail. You fail. Somaliland, for the past years, it has a better and more organized military. While we are trying to say, hey, imagine since 2017, 2016, when this war started in Ambazonia, if our leaders were organized, if our leaders were united, we would have been not where we are today. Many freedom fighters have passed away, have fallen, not because of La Republic government, no, or La Republic military. It's because of the poor leadership of the leaders of Ambazonia. Ambazonia faces significant economic challenges today. Lack of infrastructure and military capabilities like Somaliland. And we think that we are fighting a war. The conflict, the war has led to the destruction of so many of our infrastructures. The roads are dilapidated, the displacement of people, a weakened economy. Okay, we don't see that. We think that, oh, we are winning. You are winning with what kind of system? What kind of system? So Somaliland has a more coherent system because they already built that along the years. We have to start learning from the Somaliland government so that we understand that they both are still good neighbors, right? Somaliland and Somalia are still good neighbors, but they have separated. But how is their separation helping them now? That is what we have to look at, so that we know how Ambazonia is still trying to establish a legal and a constitutional identity, and the ambiguous status of its declared independence makes the established framework more challenging for the Ambazonian people, because some Ambazonians don't know that a country needs institutions. A country, before you be recognized, you need constitution, you need those institutions, you need to show proof of good governance and smooth transition of elections. That's why when we want to hold elections, people don't they say, no, don't hold election, don't do this. But no country will recognize you. No country. You keep fighting for the next how many years? The countries that can recognize you, they want to see us transitioning from one president to another. It's not about my president. That there's no one that owns a president. The president is for the whole of Ambazonia. That is why if all the leaders say, okay, they can come together and choose one person and say, okay, you have like a rotational presidency. You say, okay, you be for 2 years. The next 2 years we'll elect another president. 2 years. That is how governance rotate. But you cannot say you are president. You just sit there like in Jangi president. You sit there forever. You don't want to follow the constitution. You don't want to follow the institution. You are above the law. What kind of country do you want to show to the world? What image are you portraying to the international community that you want recognition? Ambazonia, we cannot be recognized with the type of thing that we are doing now. We need to change that mentality. We need to know that countries can recognize us if they see us having a good democracy. Our parents back in the 1950s show proof of good democracy. Ndeli was elected as prime minister back then. Foncha and all the other Munas and the people, they did not object to Ndeli's election victory. All of them fell behind him. They formed the House of Chiefs. They formed the House of Lords. They formed the good governance. The next election, Foncha won the election. All Southern Cameroonians fell behind Foncha. There was not that issue of, oh, na my president this, oh, na my chairman this, oh, na my own CIC this, Now my own person this. That kind of very, very La Republic mentality. I call it La Republic mentality because that's a mentality that they have there. That when once a president, the president will stay there forever. But with that mentality, that's where we are today. It's something that would have been finished long ago. But we made the people of ground zero go through all these things because of the mindset of some of the diasporans. We should learn from Somaliland. 1991 that they declared their independence. This is already 8 years that we declared our independence. 8 years has passed. But what have we achieved? Take a pen and paper. Write 10 achievements that you have achieved, and you see how far you have gone, and compare yourself and say, how far are we still gonna go with this same system that we have, this same mindset? You don't want someone say they should dissolve the government. You dissolve government, who will recognize you? If you don't have a governance, a system, we don't have institution. If country don't see you changing from one president to another, no country will recognize you. None. When you see Ambassador Tibo Nagy crying every day, asking you people, please put that ego, come together, form a governance system. You must not leave your group, but the governance system will be like a rotative system. Let everybody, as you like power, so that you have your 2 years to rule. But that will be the base of our constitution, institution, and how we can move forward as an Ambazonian. But without that, keep staying in your groups. Keep staying in your, I'm the governor, I'm the president, I'm the this. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. And that is why countries will not come and... Somaliland had good governance, good system. But yet, how many countries recognize them? They still have difficulties. But our case is not the same as Somaliland, whatever the case. We are more mature. We have a different way of looking at things. But if we keep doing what we are doing today, then we are failing. And it's because of the behavior of some of these leaders that some people have left the struggle. But you want people to come and support you financially. The behavior, the way you people behave as leaders, people will not come and phone you anything, because you people think that being president is forever. That's the same mentality Pobia has in her. The same mentality, because once president, it's forever. You sit there, T boya. Only dream of that boya. Let's see when you guys will go to that boya with your various presidents. That's when we'll know that you have started. But with that mindset that Ambazonians have, forget it. Forget it. Just forget it, because you are going nowhere with that. Yes, nowhere. Thank you for listening. God bless Ambazonia. I know we have a lot of challenge, but God will lead us through. By the grace of God, it's a God-ordained struggle. God will sift out the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're gonna reach our final destination. Thank you for listening, and make sure you share.
Freedom's call for hills and city. Ambazonia's cry for dignity. From Muse rise to Amanda's tale, echoes of strength shall prevail. From Kumbo's heart to Victoria's shore, let the cry of freedom soar. Independence is our guiding light. For the oppressed, we rise and fight. Ambazonia, land of hope. Freedom's path is where we cope. With heroes' blood, the journey starts. In unity, we hold our hearts. October 61, our history's thread. Marginalized, but not misled. Dictators' reign shall pass away. For liberty, we forge the way. To those imprisoned, to those who strive, in every heart, freedom's alive. Leaders strong, fighters brave. Together Ambazonia we shall save. Land of milk, land of honey, where heroes sacrifice sweet symphony.